It's that moment where your entire life is destroyed in a single message. Yeah, that was me. Bride's groomed, holding my phone in my wedding dress and reading a stranger's message while my sister snapped a photo, which is when everything changed. Does your fiancé have the habit to go kissing other women the night before his wedding? And suddenly, the fairy tale was over. But I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I smiled. Because if Jason had thought he could turn his back on Izzy and still stand under the altar, he didn't know who he was dealing with. By the time I was finished, he'd regret the day he ever laid eyes on me. I'd make sure of that. My life was always like something out of a movie to me. Not the fatal kind. The kind where a girl gets the dream job, the dream guy, and a dream wedding, all tied up in a bow. And for a long time, I actually did. Jason Whitmore was everything I'd thought I wanted. Tall, square jawline, that easy charm that had waitresses laughing a little too hard and strangers telling him all manner of things within minutes. We met at a rooftop bar in Soho. Cheesy, I know, when he accidentally spilled his drink on me. He'd confess it had not been an accident years later. "I had to speak to you," he'd said, as if that was romantic and not borderline creepy. But back then, it worked. 2 months later, he appeared at my apartment with a key cut for him. At 6 months under the Brooklyn Bridge at midnight, the lights of the city reflecting in his eyes like he'd been waiting to hang them there just for me. Before he'd even finished kneeling, I said yes. Our wedding was to be the party of the season. Every time we talked about it, my mother had tears in her eyes. "Married my baby to a man like that," she'd sigh, as though Jason were some kind of miracle and not just a guy who remembered to send flowers on her birthday. Even my unflappable dad smiled when Jason joked about future grandchildren. But the thing about facades is that they crack. The first crack came 3 months before the wedding. Jason began staying out late more frequently. At first, I believed him. He worked as a financial analyst, and Wall Street was not a 9-to-5 existence. But then I would get quick drinks with the guys, and he would stumble in at 3 a.m., smelling of perfume that's not mine. "It's only the club," he'd chuckle, kissing my forehead. "You know how them places spray that crap in the air." I wanted to believe him. So I did. And then there were the calls. He'd leave the room to do them, speaking in a low voice. "Work stuff," he'd say. But then one night, when his phone buzzed atop the nightstand, the name Lena HR appeared on the screen. At 11 p.m., I picked it up. The message preview said, "You left your jacket at my place again." My stomach dropped. But when I faced him down, he gave me a dead-eyed look and said, "Babe, Lena's 60. She's joking. It's a holiday party inside thing." And being an idiot, I believed that too. Because, that's what you do when you're in love, right? You push down the pit in your stomach. You dismiss the coincidences. You tell yourself this is all just in your head, that your man isn't like those other guys. Until, that is, you find yourself wearing your wedding dress and holding a phone in your hand, and you receive from a stranger evidence that he is. The morning of my last dress fitting, New York up and decided to be fucking raining. Not light or a wistful drizzle, but raining, roaring, torrential in the way where it rains, not like a sky full of water, but one who's actually pissed off on your behalf before there's anything for you to even be pissed off about. My bridesmaids and I, under umbrellas, huddled together as we giggled and dashed into the boutique, our heels banging against the floor. "Today's the day," my sister Mia sang as she shook the water out of her hair. "Tomorrow you're Mrs. Whitmore." I smiled, fingering the lace of my wedding dress as it hung in its garment bag. It was perfect. He was perfect. Or so I thought. Then my phone buzzed. I nearly looked the other way. Texts were for someone else, not me. I was about to put on my dream dress. But something caused me to look down. Unknown number. "You need to know who you are marrying." Attached was a photo. My stomach dropped. And there was Jason, as plain as day. His lips had been crushed down on some blondes in a darkened bar. His hand pressed to her waist like he owned her. The timestamp? Last night. That last kiss goodnight. The one from last night when he'd kissed me goodbye. saying he had a last-minute meeting with the guys. Late last night when he'd texted me after midnight, "Can't wait to see you in that dress tomorrow." My fingers shook as I zoomed in. It was definitely his watch, the one I'd given him for his birthday. This was unquestionably his stupid, cocky smirk, the one I'd once loved. "Lila?" Mia frowned, touching my arm. "You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." I laughed sheepishly and shut off my phone. Just wedding jitters. But inside, I was screaming. I let the seamstress pin and pull my dress on for the next hour, in a haze, my mind whirring. Who sent that? Was it real? Then another message came in. Unknown number. Check his iPad. My blood ran cold. Jason's iPad was linked to his messages. He'd left it at my place the week before, forgetting it, as he always did whenever he wanted a reason to come over. I'd never considered snooping before. But now, I made an excuse the second the fitting was over. I forgot my earrings at home and bolted. Back at my apartment, I snatched his iPad from his nightstand. His password? His ex's birthday. A detail of his life I only knew because he'd drunk confessed it once, then swore he'd changed it. Lie number 1. The messages loaded. And there it was. Weeks of texts. Not with you, know that blonde from the photo, nor with others. Names I didn't recognize. Emojis that I wish I didn't know. Jason. Can't stop thinking about last night. Unknown. I can't either. When can I see you again? Jason. Tomorrow. Wedding's Saturday. Need to get my fill before I'm cuffed, lol. Lol. He had typed LOL while planning to cheat on me the night before our wedding. I scrolled further. Hotel confirmations. Post-midnight Uber receipts to apartments in Brooklyn. And then, the worst one. One thread with a name that made me stop breathing. Ashley, cousin's wife. Ashley. Jeff can't know. Ever dot. Jason. Relax, he's clueless, just like Lila. I chucked the iPad across the room. I sat on the floor wearing my wedding dress, itchy lace scratching my skin as if it were sending a message. I could call it off, quietly, save myself the humiliation. But why should I hide? I hadn't done anything wrong. A slow, chill peace came to me. If Jason wanted a wedding, he would have one. Just not the one he expected. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I sat on my kitchen island bathed in a blue glow cast by Jason's iPad, scrolling through a life he'd kept secret from me. Every text, every photo, every lie. I stored them in my memory, but I needed more. The second phone. Like clockwork, Jason was always at the gym by 6 a.m. That gave me just 2 hours before he would notice that his iPad was missing from my home. I looked through his gym bag first. He left one at my apartment for convenience. Protein bars, earbuds, and then... there. A sleek black phone resting in a secret pocket. Password? I attempted his ex's birthday again. Denied. I tried my birthday. Denied. Then, with a sickening hunch, I typed in her cousin's wife Ashley's birthday. Unlocked. The screen filled with alerts, dating apps, texts, bank alerts. My hands trembled as I scrolled through his transactions. 450 dash, the Ludlow Hotel dash asterisk asterisk asterisk, 120 Bar Fiore 3 nights ago. $300, Bloomingdale's. Gift for A. I swiped to his photos. He and Ashley, shaggy in sheets. He with the blonde from the bar, laughing over cocktails. Him, and a brunette I didn't know, making out at a fountain. The same fountain where he had proposed to me. Nausea burned my throat. But the worst part? The dates. He was with her the day after our engagement party. The financial bomb. An almost missed one. A folder labeled work. Inside were spreadsheets with the names of clients I didn't recognize. Then I saw the numbers. transfers, offshore accounts. Jason wasn't just a cheater. He was embezzling from his own firm. My phone buzzed. Jason's name appeared on the screen. Jason. Babe, where's my iPad? Did I forget it at your house? I looked at the message and waited, my fingers resting above the keys. I could call him out now. Scream. Demand answers. But where was the fun in that? Instead, I typed back. Me. Yeah, it's here. Must have fallen under the bed. I'll take it to the rehearsal dinner tonight. Let him sweat. Who was the unknown number who'd first texted me? My response to the first message was, me. Who are you? The response came instantly. Mystery. Someone who got played too. A photo appeared, a selfie of a pretty redhead. The brunette of the fountain. Unidentified. He said he was single. Then I saw your engagement post. I've been trying to alert you for weeks. My chest tightened. She wasn't the villain. She was just another victim. I shut the iPad and slipped it into my bag. I would go down that aisle tomorrow, but I would not be saying I do. I'd be saying, game over. I should have been crying, screaming, breaking things. Instead, I lay completely motionless on the floor of my bathroom, leaning against its cold tiles and gazing at the evidence around me as if it were a fucked-up art installation. Printouts of screenshots of his texts, hotel receipts, the incriminating photo of him and Ashley, and the pièce de résistance, the offshore accounts files. I thought I saw something in the mirror that was off. Calm, almost smiling. Then I realized I didn't feel heartbroken. I was pissed. I could call the wedding off, send a group text, change my mind, sorry guys, and vanish to Bali for 6 months. But then he would set the narrative. Poor Jason, they'd say. She left him at the altar. I could just call him out at the rehearsal dinner tonight, throw my wine in his face, let everyone see the photos. But that was too small, too expected. Jason didn't get what was coming. He deserved spectacular. That's when I saw it. The wedding program mock-up on my desk. Lila and Jason, forever starts today. I let a slow smile blossom on my face. Forever begins today. Yeah. I snatched up my laptop and started in on it. The slideshow edited our rom-com How We Met video into an entirely different tale. The audio mixed his voicemails to other women into our first dance song. The guest list ensured that everyone who mattered to him would be in attendance. His boss, his frat brothers, his entire family. Next, I texted the redhead at the fountain. Me. Do you want to help me destroy him? Her reply was instant red. I'll bring popcorn. The prenup I almost forgot. Jason had insisted on one. Just to keep us both safe, babe. Now, I revisit Clause 12 with new eyes. If they are found to have cheated, all joint assets will be forfeited. His clause. His mistake. Because I had something more valuable than photographs. I had bank fraud. I was running late that night, in the emerald green dress that Jason is forever telling me makes other men look. It's dinner time, and you've been working late. And I'm sorry I'm late, honey. I purred, planting a kiss on his cheek. His skin tasted like guilt. I watched him all night. The way he laughed too long and too loud at his father's jokes. The way he accidentally brushed against our waitress's hip. And when he took me outside, clamping his hand over my mouth and whispering, "Can't wait for tomorrow," I just smiled up at him. The same smile I gave him when he proposed. Neither can I lied. For tomorrow would be no wedding. It would be an execution. The morning of my wedding day was bright and cloudless, as if the universe was holding its breath. I fiddled with the sheer lace over my arms and sleeves and stood in front of my full-length mirror. The stylist had just departed, having coiffed my hair into an elegant updo. My lips painted the ideal tone of walk of shame red. My phone buzzed. Jason. So excited to be married to you today? You're going to knock the breath out of me. I smirked. Oh, I'll get something from you. The setting was straight out of a magazine. The Plaza Hotel, crystal chandeliers dripping from the ceiling, white roses tumbling off every aisle. For months, I'd laid out every detail, and I made one further change. Here, can you hook this up to the projector? I said to the AV guy, giving him a USB drive that read, Wedding Memories in magic marker. He nodded. Play it after the vows, yeah? No, I said sweetly. Play it when I tell you to. There was some string quartet playing Pachelbel's canon. 500 guests sprang to their feet. I walked down the aisle for the very first time, my father's arm strong beneath my grip. Breathe, smile, don't rush. Halfway through the descent, Jason and I made eye contact. I used to believe it was love, and he was so devastatingly good-looking in his tux, the years peeling away from him when he came into the house, that I refused to think that it was anything else. Now I knew better. That is the look he gives women just before he destroys their lives. We reached the altar. The officiant beamed. Who gives this woman... Well, actually, I broke in, my voice breaking anew as I spoke. Before any of this starts, there's something that everyone should be watching. A jerk of my wrist toward the AV guy. The projector hummed to life. Well, first off, just text messages on that giant screen behind us. Jason to blonde. Wedding's Saturday. Gotta get mine in before I'm off the market, LOL. Gasps spread through the crowd. Then, photos. Jason and Ashley in bed. Jason and the redhead with the fountain. Jason using the Ludlow Hotel corporate card to get the bar tab. His mother screamed. His cousin Jeff pounced on him. But the pièce de résistance? The account numbers, an email from his firm's HR. Your termination for embezzlement is effective immediately. Very clear. I grabbed the microphone from the rattled officiant. Jason thought that today was going to be the happiest day of his life, I said in an even tone. And it is, just not in the way he thought. I stuck my hand down my bodice and extracted the prenup and fanned the pages dramatically. Because thanks to his infidelity clause and these bank records, I own his apartment. I own his car. I own that ridiculous watch collection he values more than any woman. The crowd erupted. Jason's face was turning purple with rage. You bitch! You'll pay for... Slap. The noise boomed down the ballroom. My palm stung. His cheek bloomed red. Happy wedding day, asshole. I hurled my bouquet at the redhead, who caught it with a smile, then made a lunging grab for my train and walked up the aisle as the room exploded. As soon as I left the plaza's grand ballroom, the world blew up. Not a bomb bags. Not literally. Though from the way my phone started howling at me, that is about what it felt like. The viral storm. By the time I got to the hotel lobby, Wedding Revenge was trending. Somebody had live-streamed the entire event. Memes had been crafted from clips of Jason's face as the photos appeared on screen. NYC gossip. Lila Carter just raised the bar on revenge. Haha, someone look up Jason Whitmore. Never mind, he's fired. My Uber driver recognized me. Good show, ma'am, he said, grinning. 5 stars. Jason called 17 times. I sent him to voicemail. Then came the texts. Jason. You ruined my life. Jason. I will sue you for defamation. Jason. No, Lila, we can work through this. I blocked him. His mother was not as easily deterred. Mrs. Whitmore, this is not your business. You embarrassed my son in front of 500 people. Me. No, your son embarrassed himself. I just gave the receipts. The redhead, Emily, I learned at last, came to my apartment armed with champagne and a USB drive. Further proof, she said, uncorking the bottle. in case he tries anything. It turns out Jason had told 3 women that he was going to leave me for them. Emily had drawn a line between the dots and hit every last one of them. He and I spent the night drinking and watching Jason's reputation get raked over the coals of the internet. Monday morning, my lawyer rang me. His firm is filing criminal charges for embezzlement, she said. And you get to keep the apartment thanks to the prenup clause he insisted upon. I hung up and looked at the keys to my penthouse. Never did the karmic retribution taste so good. The final twist. A week after, I had a knock on my door. Ashley. No tears, no sorries. Just a manila envelope. Jeff dumped me, she said dully. But I felt like you needed these. Inside, Jason's emails for years. Evidence he'd cheated on every girlfriend he'd ever had. Take it as an apology, she said, and turned away. I sold the penthouse. You left Manhattan for a cozy Brooklyn loft. Founded my own consulting company. And Jason? Last I heard, he was couch surfing at his frat brother's, waiting to be tried. As for me, I kept the dress. Also, white is the color of starting fresh. Who stepped into my shoes would have acted the way I did? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this tale of karmic revenge, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, because everybody deserves a little justice.